All right, world. Or
All
Rhonda, in
right.
other words.
Hey,
Or Rhonda, in
Rhonda.
other.
Is Rhonda here?
Of course she is.
Yay. Hi, Rhonda. We should just make this a three-way chat.
We should at this point, but that's okay. People eventually watch them later,
Yeah, it's good.
or years down the line.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm smoking. I don't care. I just went with it. It's been a long day. Um, so I think the topic for tonight is communication because I have issues with communication. I have major issues, and I'm I'm not trying to put it on others. Um, I'm the type of person that needs blunt, transparent communication at all times, no matter how harsh it is. That's what I need. Um, I know that's what I need. I know that's very difficult for most people to do
Hmm.
because hey, it's not comfortable for most people, right? People don't like being blunt. People don't like being fully transparent. People get scared of that, and
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because society raises us and teaches us to be secretive. My parents taught me to be secretive. My parents taught me to be private. What happens at home doesn't go anywhere. Don't tell anybody anything, right? It was always in a way keeping up with the Joneses, but really in our neighborhood, we were the Joneses. So everybody was trying to keep up with us. We were the ones that always threw the parties for 4th of July, had all the fireworks. We were the ones in the neighborhood that, I guess others wanted to be like in a way. And it was that outside appearance, always keeping that outside appearance. What I've learned is, for me, being blunt and transparent is the only way I know how to communicate. It is the best way for me to communicate. I feel the best. I feel very clear in how I do it. But I also know that it's also very difficult for those around me to be the same most of the time. Not all the time. People love tough love with me, and I need it, so that's okay. But I'm very clear on how I communicate these days because I know it's very difficult for most people to be that way.
Do you think that people talk to you
Yes.
that way? Yeah. Do you think that so part of it is that um the appearances thing that you're saying, right? Like, let's put up this front that everything's great and we're all, everybody's happy and there are no problems in the world and whatever. We have the perfect family. But I think that transparency and honesty and bluntness, specifically bluntness, can go further, especially when you're talking about people that you're close with. Sometimes it's difficult to be totally transparent and honest when you know it's going to hurt the other person, which is
Yes.
a totally different thing, right? We're talking about two totally different things. But if we're talking about communication as a blanket, and maybe we should address what you're saying first and then come back to this. But I think I've struggled with both. I've struggled with honesty and transparency for both reasons. We all grew up with parents that, not all, but I think it's societal, like you're saying, that we have to present a front, right? We have to wear the mask, um, and the more authentic, genuine relationships are when you take the mask off.
And it's very hard to do that, right? I mean, it takes an extreme amount of trust, extreme amount of faith, and an extreme amount of security within yourself. Because you have to believe in what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been very fortunate over the past few 6 months, that I have surrounded myself with people that feel comfortable in being honest with me, no matter what the circumstance is,
Mm-hmm.
and very blunt with me in lots of ways, to the best of their ability, right? Like, I don't think it's intentional. I think some people, how they, live their life, push them into a way of being also.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's a big part of it also. It's not only how you're raised, but it's also how you live once you are raised and go
100%.
from there.
100% agree with you, Rhonda. I 100% agree with you. But that's hard to learn, especially as an empath, like recognizing that your truth and honesty might hurt somebody else. Like that for me is a learned behavior, something I've had to learn recently, that honesty is the best policy always, but do you have to be, you know, blunt? Do you have to say the truth, But it's something that I'm learning and have learned
Well,
as
I
I
mean,
become my more authentic self.
your truer self, right?
Right.
Because I think you were always authentic for where you were at the moment. And, you know, you always had people in your life that you were able to be authentic with. So it kind of grounded you.
I would say yes and no. I mean, even before what I'm experiencing right now, exactly the lies inside. See, even before what I'm going through right now, I lived a long period of time, years of my life, where I was lying to people. I wasn't authentic, and not to the point where, your mom doesn't need to know everything that you do. I'm not saying that, but people I was close to, I was lying about things, and that is not being your authentic self. And so it's taken me years of therapy to realize that I don't want to live that way. I don't want to be in any kind of relationship that I can't be completely honest about who I am within reason. I don't need to go and tell my mom all the crazy things I do, or you, or whatever, even though you get to hear it. But there are people in your life that there are boundaries with, and that's okay. You don't have to tell everyone all of your craziness or dirty secrets or whatever, but there's a difference between being authentic, being your authentic self, and now what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, okay, so there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about, right? Like me
Yeah.
and you are fortunate that we've had each other for the last few years, right? Because that grounded us to being our authentic selves. We were able to be totally blunt, totally honest, no judgment,
Yeah.
judgment-free zone. And,
Finding somebody, at least having one person in your life, for me, it was you and my therapist and one other person who you can tell absolutely everything to. That teaches you how to be authentic.
and it's knowing that you have that safe space, right? It's
Mhm.
knowing that having a therapist that you can do that with is great. And I'll never talk bad against therapy because I think it's very helpful.
Yeah.
But having somebody outside of that shows you that there are people that you can be that with.
Well, right, because I'm not paying you to be my
No,
therapist.
no,
I'm
no, but I
paying
didn't.
my therapist. She has
Right,
to listen to me, and if she doesn't accept me, I'll go find a new therapist.
right, and I
Your
didn't.
your unconditional love has nothing to do with the fact that I pay you. I don't pay you.
No, and I was extremely blunt, right? And it wasn't always pretty. So I mean, it's just.
I will
But
say, you said things to me my therapist never said.
no, no. But then again, I didn't have the fear of not getting paid. So, I mean, but you've done that for me also, right?
True.
Like, I mean,
True.
you were there when I was at the end of staying in my marriage,
Yeah.
right? And I was there for you at that time too. So it was a very tumultuous time for both of us. And then we went through periods where we had to find ourselves again. And
Yeah.
we've both been there through that also.
Yeah.
But there was a long period of my life that I was duplicitous, right? And I think society raises us to be that way and teaches us to be duplicitous.
Yeah.
And it's very scary that society says you can't be accepted for who you are.
Yes.
That's terrifying. That really is terrifying that everybody feels like they have to wear a mask, right? Like sometimes wearing the headset, I don't know how loud I'm talking, and connected walls, not a good idea. Um, but it's one of those things where we're raised that we're not going to fit in for who we are,
We're not
right?
accepted. We're not going to be loved.
And there's so many stigmas, right? Like, I mean, we can go back to the simplest ones where a female who sleeps with many men is a whore, but men who sleep with many women are a superhero, right? Like, I mean, and it's those extremes that destroy people being comfortable being themselves.
Yeah.
And it goes across all different levels. Like, I mean, it goes into the job, it goes into everything that you do. You're just not comfortable being yourself
Yeah.
because you just don't know. Like, I mean, my drug addiction, everything else, I was very fortunate that I never hit it, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, when I was actively using it, it was very hard to hide it at the end. I was just a mess. But even once I got sober, it was something I openly talked about and always tried to help others, even in the workplace. I was the go-to person if somebody was sinking down into a hole.
Mm.
I was very fortunate to have that, whatever it is. I always thought it was a weakness that I never shut up and always kept talking, but apparently I helped others. So, yes, Rhonda, all the isms, 100% all the isms. Um, but it's so scary to me, right? Like, if you think about it, same-sex marriages and gays have had to live such sheltered lives, and now the Pope comes out after all these years and says we welcome them in the church, right? And do you really believe every church is going to flip over on that? I mean,
Mm.
because they've been raised this way and trained to believe these things, and now the Pope says we accept it, right? And just because the Pope is the Pope, it doesn't mean that everybody's going to follow along. It's going to take a generation before that sinks in,
At least.
at least, right? Because it goes against what the church has been preaching for so long.
Have you read Untamed by Glennon Doyle?
No, but you keep telling me to.
Okay, you have. I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay,
Because
as
it
long as
talks
it's an
about
audiobook.
exactly what we're talking about. It is, and it's in her voice, and it's amazing. But it's exactly what we're talking about. Those societal expectations that we grow up trying to fit into the box of, as a woman, I'm supposed to be kind, and I'm supposed to be, pretty, and I'm supposed to be skinny, and I'm supposed to all of these things that we don't get to be our true selves. And she ends up. This is the story of her realizing that she's a lesbian, and it is just after she's been married and has kids, and she's a writer, and all of these things, and um, it's exactly what you're saying. We try and fit into this box of expectations that society has for us, that this is what success looks like. This is what happiness looks like. This is what a good woman looks like, man, for you, and instead of really looking inward and figuring out what success and happiness and love looks like for us. Fear is the only thing that stops us. 100%.
Yeah, and I agree, right? And men go through the same things.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I was an overly sensitive male,
Yep.
white male,
And she
in
talks about
in the
that in
80s, in
raising
the
her
80s,
son. Yeah. Yeah.
and I didn't fit in. They thought I was nuts.
Yeah.
Everybody told me, never show your emotions, be tough, be this.
Yeah.
I mean, I was tough when I had to be, but
Yeah.
it's not who I am, right? Like, I mean, I wasn't even tough to protect myself. I was tough to protect others. Like, I didn't really care if anybody did anything to me, like, whatever. But you don't hurt anyone I care about. Like, that's
Yeah.
just how I was.
Yeah.
I mean, in high school, I ended up being the bully of the bullies because I just didn't like other people getting picked on. It bothered
Yeah.
because I spent my childhood being bullied, whether I was overweight, whether I was, it didn't matter what it was, right? Like, I mean, I went to bed till I was either somewhere between 9 and 11. I really don't remember when. I mean, I was just one of those kids that would just start crying in class for no reason. Lo and behold, I'm an empath and I feel everything, so maybe that's the reason. Nobody, knew that then. But it's like there's so many things that we have to try and fit into. I mean, at some point, why can't we just be ourselves? And that's where I look at the education system and say that these labelings and all these labels that we put on people at such a young age just destroys the generations. It tears us down and rips us to shreds.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just how it feels because, it desensitizes us, right? Like, I mean, if we're told that this kid's slow to develop, then we can just sit here and make fun of the kid for being slow to develop. Well, how far away is slow to develop from, this kid's black and we don't like him because he's black? Or how far away is it that this kid's gay and we don't like him because he's gay? It's just another label. And once we start accepting that as our standard and our way of living, then it just doesn't matter anymore. None of it does. And it becomes this continuous thing that just evolves through the generations and through as we get older.
Just accepting of everyone for who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the lack of it, right? The opposite, accepting them
Oh.
as a label, just letting them own their label, and that's who they are,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because they're always labeled. what I think needs to happen is the opposite, which
The
is just
ideal. That's what I.
accepting.
Yeah.
Right. Ideal is just accepting people for who they are.
Yeah.
So it's challenging though. It really is. You all right there, Kelly?
Yes, I'm freezing. Hold on.
As you can see, the decor is really nice. She has a modernish slash traditional decor. The lights are powered by, Alexa, so, she can say Alexa on or off. I wonder if that would work through this. Alexa, lights off. Damn, that would have been cool.
Oh, she said, "Did you mean kitchen?" You have to be specific about which lights that you want.
That is
Dang
pretty
it!
funny.
You
Did
just
it
turned
really
off.
work?
Yes, it just turned
That
off
is
the
so.
kitchen lights. Alexa, kitchen lights on.
I gotta say that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, let's not do that. That's funny.
That is funny, actually. I didn't see that coming, but that's pretty good. That was my entertainment.
Okay, so random story.
Yes.
I'm alone in my apartment today. Completely
Yes.
alone. Door's locked. I have to preface
Yes.
this because I had to check. I'm back in my bedroom for hours, working on my closet, just cleaning up, doing laundry, all sorts of stuff. Back there. I walk out because the washing machine is beeping at me. And the balcony door is open. I didn't open it. I didn't open it. I live 16 floors up. 16. I didn't open it. I retraced my steps so many times. I know for sure I didn't open it because I wasn't dressed to open it.
Was Alexa? Is Alexa in control of the door too? I mean,
Alexa can't. I mean, maybe she can, but
it happens.
that's
Crazy
the first
things.
time something like that has happened to me.
Crazy things follow us wherever we go.
Ugh. I just left it open. I was like, I'm not messing with it until just now because I'm freezing. But whatever. Ron, does that stuff happen to you? Ugh. Chills.
If it happened to Rhonda, she'd probably have 2 or 3 less kids.
That's true. She can always blame it on a child.
Seriously,
can't.
she has
I'm alone.
She has kids to blame. So you think?
Yeah. Clearly not. Clearly, I'm not.
No. You have really high ceilings, though, I've got to say.
I do. It's one of my favorite things about this place. Super
It's
high
very high
ceilings, decent lighting. That whole wall is windows.
Wow. Let's see. Oh, look at this. We're doing a tour. We're getting a tour now. The infamous sliding glass door that opens on its own.
It's a mess. Yeah.
Wow.
Tour of Kelly's place. Not going to show you
Which,
the bathroom because I didn't quite finish cleaning it up, but it's okay.
yeah, in that case, I can't show anything because I have 3 kids and no time. So,
All right.
and we'll just roll with that. Yeah, I mean, I think this communication thing is huge, and it's such a big deal, and it has plays such a role in all of our parts of lives, in all of the parts of our life, that I think somehow, I guess, as the Brene Brown books come through, and Untamed, and so many of these other ones, that as this comes over time, I guess people get more comfortable just being themselves. And I'm really hoping that the younger generations, like people in school now, don't put up with it as they get older. Because that's really, I think, what.
Wow.
Interesting. That's and the gospel music on top of it. That's like, oh, good job, God.
That's
Thanks.
yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Give me a heart attack. Trying to send me a message. Walk out onto the balcony.
Amazing.
It's really interesting though, and it's crazy. Like you just don't know, right? Where these weird things come from in our lives. And I like went off on a tangent now about all weird stuff, right? Like because there's so much weird stuff in my life I can't even quantify it.
Yeah.
Like it's there's always something every day, and I've gotten to the point now where I just ignore it. Like I don't even pay attention to them anymore because it happens all the time.
Yeah.
And then again, I have 3 kids, and you just don't know who's doing what either, so that doesn't help.
Yeah.
But there's many nights that in the hallway with all the bedrooms that my son wakes up the next morning and said I heard footsteps all night again. I'm like, okay, all right, great. If they come in your room, just come get me. Scream loud enough to wake me. I mean, I don't know. I mean, how do I stop footsteps in the hallway? Put down carpet?
Yes. Put down a rug. Put down a rug.
Yes, it does come from the spiritual realm.
100%.
Yes, my son is a gifted child, and yes, unfortunately, he has a lot of my gifts. Fortunately, but unfortunately. But yeah, it's interesting. What else do you think about communication, Kelly?
Well, I mean, it's widely accepted that that's key to healthy relationships, you know? I think what you're talking about specifically is just that honesty and transparency takes it to a whole nother level, right? That you you don't want to have to ask. You just want to be told. You just want
Yes,
the blunt truth all the time, no matter what. You don't want to have
yes.
to ask somebody to find out the truth. And that's a different level of communication. That's just like complete trust, complete transparency that is hard to find. Really.
But it's also not normal, right? And it's not something that put down
But don't
carpet.
we yes. But
It,
don't we want it to be normal? Isn't that what we're saying? That I mean,
yes,
if we're talking about like raising the vibration of the earth, if we're all that transparent and honest. Hold on. Oh, dang it. Okay, whatever. I need to
was
check
that a
this.
phone?
And yeah, this is important. Hold on. Will I go away or can you still see me?
I still hear you. I don't see you.
Okay. 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 Hold on. How do I get back
You're
now?
fine. I don't know. Go to
There we
your
go.
web browser. Okay.
Okay.
Everything okay?
Everything's fine.
Good.
It was not her, it was my mom.
Oh, well, that's anyway.
I thought it was news, but it wasn't.
It's no news.
No news. Um, okay.
Yeah, I think that type of transparency though is abnormal for people, right? Because they're always scared.
100% it
I don't
is.
want to. I don't want to offend somebody. I don't want to hurt somebody. I don't want to. It's tough, right? And
I don't want to
but
mess up
what?
our relationship. I don't want them to stop loving me. I don't want, I mean, all of those things.
Yes,
I
and
think
how
I
we're
would say,
how
okay, so how do we define normal? Normal is what most people do, in my opinion. That's normal. I think maybe it's natural, it's innate, it's within us. It's what our true self wants, but it's not normal. Nobody does it. Very few people do it. Society has programmed us not to.
it's very challenging, and it's challenging to have that comfort with somebody to be able to do that, right? And that's I think a lot of it is that, right?
Yeah.
Like if I tell somebody something that might hurt their feelings, are they going to leave me? Are they going to walk away? And that's not what it's about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because with true transparency, no matter what type of relationship, friendship, brother sister, or relationship, right? Whatever it is, I think that anybody can overcome anything, and it just needs to be that way, right? And it's challenging. It's those tough conversations that build those deeper bonds.
Hmm.
Being able to, like when I was doing the roundtables for anti-racism, everybody used to say to me, that's such a tough conversation. I said, it's really not. It's very simple. I'm
Yeah.
white. I'm 40 years old. I'm a male. I have no clue what a black person goes through in America.
Yeah.
So it's all about listening,
Yeah.
right? Like it's a
Yeah.
very easy conversation.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
it's
asking questions and letting them,
letting people just what
people
no
who
matter what the
experience it, tell about
no
their
matter what the
experience.
ism is, right?
Yeah.
No matter what the ism is, and it's uncomfortable conversation.
Hmm.
It's not a tough conversation, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think what we need to oh, missed that first part. Normal is whatever you think it is. Maybe. I know I'm not normal, so I don't even question it. I'm not even close.
Ditto. Proud of
Um,
it.
but the tough conversations is what really defines the level of a relationship, of any type of relationship, friendship, coworker, whatever it is. The deeper the conversation, the more blunt the conversation, having the challenging ones, working with a boss that you can sit down and say, I don't like when you do things this way, will build a relationship with that boss that you'll be able to communicate back and forth, and your boss will feel comfortable going to you and saying the same thing rather than firing you, or
Yeah.
rather than going out of their way to make you want to leave because they don't like firing people.
Yeah.
So it's I think it works in every aspect of your life, and it's again, it's just very challenging to find that in this world. And it's challenging to be able to be that transparent in this world as it stands today.
Hmm.
If my kids install one more thing on that tablet, it's going to explode. Like, it's crazy. Um, I just keep getting notifications of what they're installing. It's like
Cute.
it was at a room before then. What the hell are you doing? Like, everything's crashing because there's no room. I personally wish that they were listening to this. Um, wait, what did she say? Oh, KD, I don't know, buddy. Kenny, I think
Most normal person I've ever
I
met.
yeah, Kenny, I'm not sure about that one. Kenny, this is Kelly, by the way.
Hi,
Say hi to
Kenny.
Kelly. This is Kenny. This is KD. He is a deliciously scrumptious human being, and he uses really big words that I can barely pronounce.
That's hype.
And he is semi-local to you, I think, actually. I'm trying to remember if he's in Dallas or Houston. Uh, Kelly's in Dallas. And then Rhonda. I find out being, well, yeah, that does. But I also think there's positives to social media too. We are normal. We are not of this earth. Hey,
Yep.
yes, that I agree with also. And and by the way, Kenny has powers too. He just doesn't talk about it much. Um,
Well, everyone does. We all do, right?
everyone does. It's a matter of how we tap into it.
Hmm.
It's a matter of what we do with it and how we work with them to help others because that's our purpose. Uh, Kenny seems to help people through his words because he supports everyone. He is the biggest supporter I've ever seen. It's unbelievable what he does, and he constantly is lifting people up.
It's awesome.
The kids and their tablets are ridiculous. Yes, it's insane. Like that's how. Oh, there goes Rhonda. Hi, Kenny. It's tablets with kids is so it's infectious. Like I still don't understand it because when I was a kid, it was always about being outside. My parents had to ground me to stay inside.
Hmm.
I think now if you have kids, you ground them to go outside. Like I feel like that's what you have to do to get them off their ass
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
all they want to do is sit inside and either watch YouTube on TV. Oh, he's in Houston. I was close. Oh, Sugarland.
Southwest of Houston, yeah.
See, scrumptiously,
Scrumptiously,
deliciously edible. Yep.
deliciously, edibly tasty good conversation.
That is Kenny. Yes,
Bunch of
that
yummy
that is
words.
Kenny. Kenny is the man. Love Kenny. Oh, I missed the anxiety part. Anxiety is what she meant to say. Okay,
I was
so
wondering what examine. Yeah, I figured it.
yeah. Wait, what did I just do? Oh my gosh.
Everyone doesn't know they have superpowers. Powers, super.
I'm bouncing around from comments and missing them. Um, no, people. Again, that's another society thing, right? Society tells us that we can't have powers, we can't do this, we can't be this, we can't be empaths. It doesn't exist. But it's been written down throughout history that these things exist. I mean, The CIA has been doing tests on people that have abilities for years,
Hmm.
like all the way back to World War One. Like, I mean, this is crazy. Like, the difference is now through one of the positives of social media, now you can find like-minded people globally.
Yeah.
You don't have to go, on a hiking retreat to go 2,000 miles to find like-minded people, right?
Yeah.
Like, go back to, Jesus, Gandhi, Muhammad, any of them. They had to walk and walk and walk. That would not do well for our society these days, because getting my kids to walk to the bathroom sometimes is difficult, and it's like 10 feet away from their tablet. Kenny said hi, Rhonda.
If you put your if you put the tablet that far away, they would walk to it.
I think so. I like Rhonda's idea, right? She like gets them up in trees. I think I gotta tie the tablets to trees.
That's what I
Like
mean.
if I tied it to the cat and then set the cat up the tree, because
Gosh.
I don't want to do that much work either.
Are these durable tablets?
I don't know. They're already shattered, so it doesn't
Good
matter.
idea.
They were perfect when they were brand new. I just didn't buy cases, and that's my fault. So yeah, no, they're all shattered. Every single one is shattered. The phone shattered. Everything shattered. Now they have cases to protect from glass cutting their fingers.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. You have anything else you want to add tonight, or do you want to cut it? I know you're waiting on something right now.
Yeah, I'm a little bit anxious isn't the right word, just anticipatory. Is that a better word?
That's a big word. Kenny will appreciate that. That's Kenny. You got to talk to Kelly. I mean, you two could have you guys could have like paragraph long sentences with 3 words.
But I don't talk a lot. I'm a woman of not many words.
You don't have to be.
Mm-hmm. As long as they're big words, it's okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, the words, they'll fill in the gap.
I don't think I have anything else to say. It's a good convo about communication and how important it is. Are you texting someone?
Yeah, of course I am. Who am I texting? Anyway, moving right along. All right. They've been experimenting for years. Yes, they have.
I have a
And
question.
oh boy. Yes.
Follow up from last night. Has
When I
nothing to
was
do
fa-
with communication.
when I was falling asleep, yes.
Yes, but it has nothing to do about that. It has nothing to do with communication. But were you able to do your evaluation of the day before?
I love you, Kenny.
He likes the anticipatory word. He
Of
likes
course he
it.
does.
It's not
Of
that
course
big
he
of a
does. It's
word.
I don't know. It's more
I'm
than
just
4 letters.
reframing my anxiety. It's not anxiety.
Get some bubbles.
That is a good idea, Rhonda.
That is a good idea. But then I have to take him in a store.
Okay, but really, I want to know if you did your, what did we call it?
Daily reflection.
Yes.
I didn't
And
last night.
reframe.
I didn't last night because I
Well, I
was,
know you fell asleep, but have
yeah,
you
no,
done it
no.
today? Do it.
Day's not over yet.
You,
Mm.
I give up.
I've been doing tons of overthinking and overanalyzing.
That's not the same thing.
I know the reframe.
That's
We
the,
tried. Okay, in my defense, we did do a reframing earlier today.
we did. We did.
I'm not sure how much it helped, but I did it.
We did. That is a really good point.
So I guess I did do that today because there's really nothing else that went on in my day other, other than dealing with the 3 kids. It's Sunday, and I'm not watching football this season because my Giants suck. So there's no reason.
Okay, so that makes me think of one other thing that we didn't talk about, and you said maybe we would. So today, for the first time, I did Kundalini yoga.
Love Kenny.
Oh
Kenny's
man,
the best.
anxiety was a huge thing I dealt with for a long time. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, she has come a very long way, Kenny.
Come a long way in the last month, let alone 3 years.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's been a month as of yesterday.
That's crazy. That's nuts.
Anyway, what I was going to say about that yoga, what I loved about it, so it's a combination meditation, yoga, and lots of breathing exercises. And what I realized after you and I talked, Mike, and before we got on the live, was what I really loved about it was it's one of those activities that there's so much exertion that you can't help but stop your brain. Like your brain just stops. So like or you're only focused on the fact that you're breathing and you're trying to do the poses or it's really actions, not poses. And so you're not able to overthink. So you go from doing that to instantly you're done doing it and you're supposed to be in a meditative state. And I don't have trouble getting to the meditative state right now, but if I did, it's amazing how much easier it is and how instant it is. So I would recommend that for you when you do get in your overthinking phase. Maybe there's some
I am
techniques.
not an overthinker at all.
Maybe there are some techniques from Kundalini yoga. Am I saying that right?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
I got to get this right. I'm doing a 21-day challenge. I'm going to do it every day for 21 days. So we'll see.
I do meditation to be in my meditative state. I love you.
Well, yes, absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. It's incredible. I highly recommend this yoga.
See, and in my past life, I did many activities so that I didn't overthink. And I found them very exerting as well.
In past life,
Yes.
also in this life. I can say the same. There were a couple activities that I did just because they shut my brain off.
Yes, but at some point those usually wear off. I wonder if the yoga will do it too.
Will it wear off?
Oh. Yeah, because that sounds like a lot of effort.
I don't know. We'll see. 21 days starts tomorrow.
I chased 3 kids all day. I think that's a lot of effort to begin with.
That's true.
Not like Rhonda chasing 5. Or Trishelle. If I don't know, no, you haven't met Trishelle because we're not live on LinkedIn. But she has 12.
Oh my goodness.
I don't even know how she gets on and comments on lives.
No kidding.
Like that's like 2 soccer teams. That's 2 soccer teams. All right, guys. Well, have a great night. I think we helped anxious Kelly get through at least a little bit. And
I'm not anxious. That was my whole point.
Anticipatory.
Anticipatory. Because I was saying I'm not anxious.
I actually pronounced it correctly. That's even more amazing.
Good job.
Anticipatory. That's my word of the
word of the day.
I'll never remember it tomorrow.
You need to start doing that. Word of the day.
Word of the day.
On your lives. I'm just going to start, even if I'm not on it, I'm just going to start sending you a word of the day. Kenny, you can help me.
Kenny can definitely help. He's
Kenny
a
and
wordsmith.
I can start sending you a word of the day.
It's got to be under 5 syllables.
That's fine. I don't know any
I love the drinks. I love you, Kenny. You're awesome. All right, guys. Have a great night. Rhonda, thank you as always. Our #1 fan. As always, you are amazing. Kenny, you're the best. I love you. And have a good one, guys.
Good night, everybody.